behaviors too. Some people choose to revert to a younger age. In this case, it can be a coping mechanism to help them relax and eliminate stress. Now, 52% of American adults are functional literate and mentally can only read above the sixth grade level. Okay? I say that because 52% of the population are in age regression. Actually, it's a little bit more higher than that. But just for an average, 52% are in age regression, right? Because of the trauma. When I say that they MK Ultra the public, I really mean that. Okay? MK Ultra, drugs, trauma, pain, break the psyche, alter egos, all that type of shit. The public has been MK Ultra through TV, media, frequencies, radio waves, real life environment, all that type of shit. So we age regress. A lot of us do it from time to time. You know what I'm saying? It's one of those triggers. A lot of people do it voluntarily. Some people involuntarily do it. So there's a lot of people who don't know that they do it. Now, let's get a little deeper. Both involuntary and voluntary age regression can be triggered by stress, fear, insecurity, or trauma. Unconscious age regression can also be a symptom of certain illnesses, neurological conditions, and mental health conditions, including post-traumatic stress disorder, schizophrenia, and dementia. Okay. Stress, fear, insecurities, and trauma. Post-traumatic stress disorder, schizophrenia, and dementia. Age regression. The public has been MK Ultra'd. Women have a form of this as well. It's called Peter Pan syndrome. Okay? Nah, my bad. It's called the Wendy syndrome. We're going to touch on it. But the Peter Pan disorder, the Peter Pan syndrome describes people who have difficulty growing up. They may find it hard to manage typical adult responsibilities such as keeping a job and maintaining healthy relationships. According to Kaylee, people with Peter Pan syndrome behave irresponsibly and may have displayed narcissistic personality traits. Okay? Peter Pan disorder. We just had some key points real quick. We're going to touch on it. Why do people act like this sometimes as a regression? A popular but frequently forgotten defense mechanism is a regression. Okay? It's popular, but it's often forgotten. It's a mechanism. When things get too difficult and a person feels vulnerable, defense mechanisms kick in as a way of self-preservation. You can't hate people for self-preservation because it's law universally. Regression is a return to childlike behavior as a way to avoid adult-like reality and responsibility. Fear, okay? Fear was one of those traumas. Why would I say that? Because jokingly, we all was like, damn, I wish I would have stayed a kid. This adult life, man. This shit, I should have stayed a kid. It's traumatizing. One way it's traumatizing is because no one has ever taught us about adult life. So when we become adults, that shit hit us in the face. Boom. You know what I'm saying? And then a lot of people have a fear of growing up. So they stay inside a childlike state as well. And you can tell, you know what I'm saying? You just pay attention to behaviors and stuff like that. But we all do it. Nobody should be criticized or judged for it. It's just recognize what it is and understand where it's coming from. And it's coming from a low vibrational state. So that just means it's just something that you have to overcome. You know what I'm saying? It's all good. Let's keep it going. Michael Jackson most definitely comes to mind because of his childhood. He was most definitely in age regression. That's why he had the the fairs, the animals, and all that type of stuff. And he waited till he got an adult to live his childhood. It was age regression. Most definitely. A lot of childhood stars are age regressed. Now, can you get stuck at the age trauma though? Yes, see. As you grow up, it's common to use childlike coping methods to get your needs met. Temper tantrums, uncontrollable tears, and impulsive behaviors are all expected. As you get older, it's typical to outgrow these behaviors, replacing them with more emotional mature responses. But experiencing trauma at an early age can disrupt your emotional growth. You might not outgrow childlike actions. Instead, they may remain as coping methods, causing problems in your relationship, work life, and even your sense of self. With proper treatment and support, you can begin to understand the reasons behind your emotional responses and behaviors and move towards healing. Okay? Told you it's all good. How trauma can make you stuck. Traumatic events can overwhelm your body, mind, and leaving a lasting mark on your mood, relationships, and sense of self long after the trauma has ended. When trauma impairs your ability to develop full emotional maturity, this is known as arrested psychological development. Trauma can freeze your emotional response at an age you experienced it at. When you feel or act emotionally younger than your actual age, this is known as age regression. Okay? Age regression means that later in life, childlike behavior patterns can appear again when we feel unsafe or when we encounter triggers related to previous traumas, even if we were unaware that we've been triggered. Self awareness and self conscious is important. When an individual is traumatized, especially early on in life, the memory of the trauma is stored both in the brain and body. As a result, if healing does not occur, the traumatic incident can impede health development. Basically, depending on the severity of the trauma, your entire way of being may be formed around the traumatic incident. This is because on a neurological or neurobiological level, the trauma is not properly processed. It can rewire your brain in such a way that ultimately influence your thoughts, patterns, and behavior responses as you get older. According to 2015 research, age regression can happen in children and adults. A small scale in 2007 notes that the regression may be more common in younger adults than older adults. When does trauma related regression happen? Trauma that affects your development can occur at any time during childhood. Examples of early life trauma includes abuse, neglect, incidents, and bullying. Age regression as a survival mechanism because it wasn't safe for the body to process at the time. The trapped emotions unconsciously dictate your behaviors and relationships unknowingly. It doesn't necessarily make you stuck at the certain age, but instead you are acting out the emotional wounding that happened at that age. And trauma can cause anyone to get stuck in this way. It might occur in people with mental health issues related to trauma, such as post-traumatic stress disorder, dissociative identity disorder, people with alternate egos and, shit like that. Beyonce and Sasha, Lil Wayne and Wheezy, all that type of shit. And us with nicknames as well. Borderline personality disorders and depression. Okay. Signs you're stuck at an early age is the signs or symptoms that someone is emotionally stuck vary from person to person and could depend on how old you were when the trauma occurred and the nature of the trauma. Behaviors associated with age regression could include adult temper tantrums, difficulty with impulse control, and overly clingy or dependent behavior. Behaviors classed as regression can also involve childlike comfort seeking, such as rocking back and forth, pacing back and forth, thumb sucking, needing a comfort toy. Those just little examples. Still, these are not necessarily negative coping methods, and they can help many people feel comfort, safe, and love. Some general signs of unresolved trauma can include fear-based behaviors such as excessive anxiety or controlling behavior, a tendency to shut down or disassociate, people-pleasing behavior, knowing you want to do something in life but feel like it's nothing you can do, hopelessness. That shit crazy, right? Yeah. So now, hold on. How to get unstuck with proper help. Of course, they're going to say licensed therapy, and many people can interrogate their traumatic experiences and become unstuck. Los going to tell you, do some shadow work. Sit by yourself, find out your triggers, be consciously aware, journal, sit back, have flashbacks, see what's happening. And once you find the trigger, you heal the trigger. It's gonna leave a scar because a scar is just a healed wound. And it just lets you know to be cautious next time or whatever. You know, like when you fall off your bike and you scrape your knee, when that motherfucker heal, you look at your knee, like maybe I need to throw in some knee pads and a helmet or some shit, or maybe I just need to be cautious when I'm riding. That's all that is. So, you know what I'm saying? Just really do some deep diving with self. It's all about spirituality again. A lot of spiritual folks ain't gonna tell you this, or won't tell you nothing close to this, or they won't even talk to nothing like this. Again, psychology, the etymology, psych means spirit, ology means study of. Psychology is the study of your spirit. So if you're going to heal traumatic psychological wounds, then you have to heal them spiritually, because psychology is spiritual. Literally, it's in the name. So with that being said, I ain't gonna hold everybody. It was a quick live, you know what I'm saying? If you missed it, if you came in late, tap in at the Anchor, at my Anchor podcast. It'll most definitely be up on there. I'm gonna start uploading a whole lot of stuff on there, videos and all that type of stuff. We're gonna be making transitions. I said, we're gonna be making transitions around this thing because, like I said, they talking about shutting down TikTok, whatever they doing, whatever the case may be. So everybody, like people who do what I do, platforms like I do, you know what I'm saying? Start y'all a YouTube, man. Start you a podcast. Start other platforms. A lot of people love us. A lot of people like hearing what we got to say, what we got to teach. You know what I'm saying? So it's platforms out there, and we also can create platforms. So until then, it's just it's make best with what we got, because we resilient people or whatever. So you can most definitely catch me on the podcast, and I'll most definitely be going live on there as well. So you can communicate and drop gems on there as well. So tap in. You can find it on Spotify. Hit that follow button. The more people hit the follow button, more people hit the like, the bigger it get pushed out on Spotify, and the more folks can hear us and our words and our knowledge and our information and everything like that. You know what I'm saying? So, and also tap into the YouTube Signs of a Conscious Mind. So Vibrate high, peace, prosperity, abundance, gratefulness, gratitude, and appreciativeness. And remember, if you're gonna you a perfect imperfection, that's the whole purpose of you being created like this. And I'm out. Stay dangerous.